The first work was written for laptop orchestra. Only 2 or 3 members in the orchestra knew how to read music, so in writing this work, I couldn't use techniques for traditional instruments. I was pondering, were there any skills we had already got that we didn't need to acquire again? I got it finally, it's typing. We did it almost every day. In this work, finger movements in typing were transformed into music playing. The performers only needed to type by following the score. Designated words would become sounds and changed into images simultaneously. Why were there visual elements in this work? Because the words to be typed by the orchestra came from a poem by a French poet, Stéphane Mallarmé. He used a nonlinear literary style, also known as hypertext, in his poetry. The verses in the poem looked like they were randomly scattered on a page, thus allowing the reader to freely rearrange the verses and lines. That's why I came up with my 21st century version of hypertext, in which the verses were fluttering from right to left in continuous motion. In fact, I have always wanted to make use of technology to turn our daily bodily motion into music making. My other work, Plane, was also written for laptop orchestra, uses the lead motion controller, pretty new at that time, to capture and convert the musician's hand movements into music. Even though technologies open up lots of new possibilities for music, they are not as perfect as traditional musical instruments that have developed for hundreds of years. When you want to hack a new tech product that has been out only for 3 months, the only thing you can do is debug it with great determination. In the end, you may succeed, or there is something in it that you can't change. And since I couldn't make musical notation on the traditional staff lines for movements, I therefore created my own form of notation to instruct the orchestra. After a few years, I used this same controller to write a 4-channel live sound mixing program incorporating hand gestures. And I published an article at the 41st International Computer Music Conference in 2015. In this last work that I would like to introduce, I also included movements that had nothing to do with music. Grinding coffee with a hand grinder. I was commissioned by an art administrator to design a musical performance. I was assigned to partner with Olivia. When I first met Olivia, I asked her if she got anything special she would do almost every day. She said the first thing she did every morning at her office was to prepare a cup of hand-ground coffee. Grinding coffee beans and brewing the coffee was kind of a ritual to start her workday. So I wrote her first etude. I placed a guitar piezo pickup on Olivia's coffee grinder to capture the sound of her hand movements. And then on top of her coffee making sound were bustling city soundscape and the sound of meditation bell. This could bring audience back from their busy life to unwind themselves, pulling their conscious mind back into the inner self, similar to Olivia's daily ritual to start her workday.